Is this thing on? I don't think I remember how to podcast correctly. Are we live?
I don't know, but I definitely think we should be taking some bets right about now.
Bets on what?
About how many times you're going to drop your controller because you don't have any fade grips on it.
That is true. That is the thing I do not have on my controller. Because I lent them all to you.
Yeah, well, if you use your clan code, you can get 8% off.
I guess if I use, what code is it again? All Kings 8? For how much off?
8% off.
At where?
Fade grips.
.store?
Yep.
Fadegrips.store. How much percent do I get off?
Do we really want to do this?
I can't remember. I'm forgetful. How much percent do I get off?
8%, which is actually quite a good deal, considering.
And what's that code again?
All Kings 8.
Huh. So, let me get this straight. You're telling me if I go to fadegrips.store and use discount code AllKings8, I can get 8% off my order.
Yep.
Huh. You know, that actually might come in handy because I want to get that new WWE 2K20 game. And I need to be superior. If I'm going to be the man, I got to play like the man. In order to play like the man, I got to have fade grips.
Yeah, you need to have the proper materials.
Exactly.
I'm literally looking at the screen watching the character get pushed by the silverfish.
That's my favorite thing to do, is to just have an awkward silence and not say anything, because she hates silence. So she'll try to fill it up.
Oh, I really do. So much.
So I'll just like stop talking and I'll just look at her like, hi,
yeah,
it's me.
And it's probably from all of my college experience because nobody likes to talk in college. So the teacher's like asking us questions and we all just stare in awkward silence. And the teacher literally calls us out and is like, I'm good with silence.
That would be me as a teacher. I'd be like, I'm okay with silence. Someone want to talk now? Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Stina, and I am here with my co-host,
Missy.
This is the Two Girls, One Mic podcast. We've been off for 3 or 4 weeks.
3 weeks.
And
which were your fault.
Oh, okay. Damn. And this silverfish keeps pushing the characters off, and I don't quite understand how they're getting there, but I'm getting pushed, and it's really annoying.
I told you we shouldn't have had so many animals in the room.
It has to equate our actual life.
Oh my god.
But yeah, this is the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. Specifically this week, we're gonna talk about WWE nonstop.
And Stina's complete obsession.
It's an obsession at this point. It was an obsession when I was a kid, and the obsession has come back.
And it's an obsession that is driving her most loyal mod away.
It is, because let's just say I don't have time for Sandra anymore. It's all about the man, Becky Lynch.
And when you do have time for sand, it's all memes about Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
If you can beat anybody in the world, let me guess. The man.
Jeff Hardy or the man, for sure. I got asked that the other day by some teachers that I went to high school with, and I didn't want to admit who it would be. So I'm just like, I don't know. In my head, I'm like, Becky Lynch, Jeff Hardy, you know, me in the ring. I could be the referee.
At least yours is like reasonable, but like the number one on my list of people to meet is so not normal for my age group. Like, I want to meet Reba McEntire so bad. Like, you have no idea.
So anyway, about the man.
The fact that you hate talking about Reba McEntire.
I just don't have anything to contribute. But the man I could talk about all day.
We watched the Reba TV show all the time as kids. How do you even know that?
I didn't like it. I'm sorry, no offense.
It's hilarious!
I didn't like it. It wasn't for me.
But then again, you hated Gilmore Girls too.
I did not like Gilmore Girls, really.
By that too. You hate everything I like, honestly.
Do you like the man?
The man is not that bad. Not my favorite wrestler, but not that bad.
Who is your favorite wrestler? Female and male.
I don't know. Like,
Mine's
just started
easy.
getting into it again. Like, I like Stephanie from, like, the Attitude Era. Like, Stephanie's really good in Attitude Era. I don't like that she kind of turned into, like, this corporate gross person, but other than that, I really liked her.
Yeah, I mean, mine's obvious. I've said it like 3 times. Jeff Hardy and Becky Lynch. Jeff Hardy will always probably be my favorite just because childhood.
And favorite male wrestler would have to be one of the members of DX, honestly.
Shawn Michaels is my second favorite.
I mean, it's a toss-up depending on the day. Aha! Oh man, I'm telling you.
What is getting pushed? Like,
there's literally nothing behind you. What is happening?
This is so creepy. Kira O'Brien.
Oh god. This is what happens when we switch the day.
Is the controller broken? You know what?
Ow!
You know what? You're just gonna look up at me.
Okay, and now you can see the episode title better.
There you go. It was actually looking out for us.
But anyway.
Yeah, you guys know how we usually like start the podcast and talk and chat like around between 1 and 1:30? Yeah, we were watching The Man.
Because I said I would have nothing to contribute while we're talking about The Man because I don't know anything about The Man because I stopped watching WWE when it got real stupid around the time that The Core and The Nexus came out.
I stopped watching when Jeff Hardy left. I think like 2012? I don't know. He left.
I don't know when he left, but I know that it was when The Core and The Nexus came out that I quit wanting to watch. So.
Yeah, because we watched it as kids. She got me into it. And we talked about this one podcast. She got into it because it was the only channel that worked on her TV in her room. One of them.
Yeah.
So,
back when it was on one of the main networks before it got moved to, like, not a main network.
Yeah.
I think it was, what was it on? 29 or 23? One of the two.
29, but that's going to mean nothing to them because it changes depending on the TV. Yeah, I pretty much...
Run! Sandy's in the chat, run! She's talking about The Man the whole podcast, run!
I'm pretty much like any wrestler with long hair. I don't know why that's always been my thing, but I talk about this like almost every podcast. It always circles into I like men with long hair.
So you secretly are into chicks, right?
Maybe that's it. Hey, I'll swing both ways.
Well, I mean, The Man.
Oh my god. I would swanton bomb her from the top rope.
Oh my god. That moment when you're using a Jeff Hardy move to flirt.
Oh, Becky, baby, let me tell you the things that we would do together. The things we will do together.
Okay.
No, it's not gonna be dirty because I'm gonna treat you right because you're a queen and you deserve to be treated as such. Even if you're the man, I'm gonna tweet you. I'm also gonna tweet you. I tweet you often. I'm gonna treat you right, okay? Your hair is amazing.
I'm gonna be jealous how much of a queen you're treated as.
I will rub conditioner. I will shampoo your hair. I will feed you. I will not sell your bathwater. That's for me. I will feed you Honey Nut Cheerios. And I will support you ringside always. I'm telling you, this is a good deal. You can leave Seth Rollins. I'm here, okay?
Oh my god.
I will wash your hair. I will feed you Honey Nut Cheerios. I will take your animals for a walk if you have any.
But to be honest, you would have more animals than she would ever.
Oh yeah, you gotta be okay with animals, Becky, okay? Which I'm sure you will.
Plot twist, she hates animals, and now you're...
I am currently selling all my animals, guys. Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't know what made me fall in love with her. I remember, because I started watching maybe like a month ago, or a little bit over a month ago. Yeah. Because, listen, shut up and let me tell this story.
No, you like anyone with an accent. Like, seriously.
I remember, because Jeff Hardy came back. And I don't know, we talked about it on the podcast. He came up, like, we were talking childhood things, and WWE came up. And I remember I said that podcast when I was done, I was gonna watch old WWE stuff, and I did, and I've been watching it ever since.
Yeah, and she got me into it. I've been watching Attitude Era, like, oh, I forgot.
So I watched Raw, and Becky was, I think Charlotte. I saw Charlotte first, and I'm like, she's kind of cool, but a little bit like too girly for me.
I don't really like. I mean, like, Charlotte's not a bad character.
She's just not my type. Like, she's girly.
My thing is just the fact that it seems like she's kind of clinging to her father's train a little bit. I wish they would have established her first before being all, she's a Flair.
I see both, but... And then Becky came out, and at first I'm like, I don't know if I like her accent. And I'm like, I love her accent. I love her accent. And just her persona, because it's like a tomboy. And then I remember after I watched, I'm like, the women wrestlers are actually, like, somewhat entertaining now. Like, they actually do stuff. Before, when I watched, like, 2008-ish, they would really only, like, pull each other's hair and stuff like that.
Yeah. And fake punch. And it was really obvious.
But then I watched that, I'm like, that's cool, they actually do.
The only one who would do like, actual things were Beth Phoenix. She would actually pick people up.
And Natalia, I think.
And, well, I wasn't even really thinking Natalia, because when I was watching, she wasn't a big part. But, and then Melina would do flips on from time to time. But you don't remember Melina.
The name sounds familiar. No, I want to read what Sandra said, the good old times when Cena did not say she was in love with a TV persona.
She's always
it's
been in love.
Real. WWE is real.
She's been in love with so many people on TV, though.
I really have. It's a I'm sure there's some, like, deep psychology thing that I don't want you to do, but, like, the amount of connection that I have to, like, not real characters is not good.
If y'all could see her room, it's, like, lined floor to ceiling of, like, creepy photos of people.
That's a lie, okay? That's actually a lie. It used to be, like, as a kid, but, like, I think the first person I was obsessed with on TV, Jeff Hardy, I want to say.
No, Selena Gomez. Get real.
No, I'm saying, like, crush-wise, where I, like, fantasized over, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm Jeff Hardy's sister. I got this. I even had, like, a whole name, a whole outfit, and a whole career planned around being Jeff Hardy's sister. It's not healthy. It wasn't healthy.
I mean, obviously, our lives are never healthy.
What's up, Kingly? Welcome to the podcast. We're talking WWE. If you're curious, the name was Carly Hardy, and I think I still have a list of, like, what her attributes were. She wasn't a wrestler, she was a singer and actress, okay?
Yeah, I literally would come up with characters too, though, and I would come up with, like, ring outfits, but I would basically rip off other outfits, like, Michelle McCool's outfit. I was like, basically it looks like that, and then I would change the color, basically. Because I really liked her outfit.
See, I never really liked the Divas outfits. I'm not really one for, like, two-piece things like that.
I don't mind a two-piece, but it has to.
That's why I like Becky, because she doesn't really have them. She just has a badass, like, the man outfit.
But as an adult, I would never wear that and wrestle, though.
You could be like Charlotte Flair.
Well, like,
Moon the audience.
X would not.
I love her reaction.
Kind of like Lana did in that match.
I love Charlotte Flair's reaction, even though you didn't see anything. Her just when her pants like fell down.
Oh God.
Yeah. I don't. It's hard to talk about the man because I feel like I talk about it all the time and I'm just repeating myself. I know I also liked Edge. Long hair, duh. You're not gonna say anything to that? You're gonna do my role and just leave me with an awkward silence?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, I don't really get the appeal with Edge, because...
The cutting edge.
But then again, I started watching when Edge...
You watched Vicky Guerrero, don't talk to me about the appeal.
Yes, but I started the very first episode of wrestling I ever saw was Vicky's wedding to Edge, and she found out that he cheated on her with the wedding planner.
My first episode was when we went to the babysitter A's house and slept overnight. They were watching Matt and Jeff Hardy, and I think it was a stretcher match. I'm sure there's been a lot of those, so I couldn't find the exact one, but it was like 2008 when they were like fighting. And then I remember they made up, and this is when Dad worked out of state, and I was like Skyping him after I had watched SmackDown. I go, you know what, Dad? It's time Matt Hardy put Jeff's necklace back on. Like,
oh my god.
8-year-old me, that was important. Rather than the fact that I only got to talk to my dad once a week, I was more concerned with the fact that Matt and Jeff Hardy were friends again.
Of course you were.
Meanwhile, I should be asking him, like, how you doing? Or let me tell you about school. No. Dad, listen. Matt and Jeff Hardy are brothers again.
Why do you think all the pay-per-views are paid for?
Yeah, that was one thing. When my dad worked out of state, kind of like, not like a reward, but something we got to do was watch WWE pay-per-views. My first pay-per-view that, I think it was yours too, was Extreme Rules. I don't know if that's still a pay-per-view anymore, but that was our first pay-per-view, and I think we bought, like, everyone after that. Which kind of weirds me out, because, like, WrestleMania is, like, the huge pay-per-view, but when we watched, they were, like, the same price. Like, Extreme Rules and WrestleMania were the same price.
Well, yeah, all of the pay-per-views where it was all...
It's like, why did they hype it up? Like, I feel like it should be more.
Right.
Not that I'm complaining, but I also remember there was one time we were at church, and it was just you and me, because the adults had to go do adult things. And I think it was SummerSlam that night, so we wrote down every match in my book. I don't know where it is, but it was my favorite planner I ever had. And we wrote down every match, and we, like, this person's gonna win. I don't know if you remember that, but it was in it was in the red room.
I remember the red room.
In the church. But
everyone's like, what?
There was a room, it was like all red, so we called it the red room. And we hadn't seen The Shining, we just called it the red room.
Yeah, and we would go in there and goof around and play when there wasn't anybody in it.
When we didn't want to go to church. We also, was there anywhere else we played in? I think we played in, like, the main...
The hallway, basically, was where we would play if there wasn't any...
But I remember we did not want other people to see us play.
That was because it's embarrassing, and we were old enough to know that we shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, so we would...
Yes, and then, we were very mature, like, playing with Barbies, like...
Yeah, we played Imagination probably a lot longer than we should have, but I'm not really ashamed of it, because it's like a highlight of my childhood.
I'm weirded out by it, because I played way too long.
I still play, what do you mean?
I mean, I guess I sort of do when I write stories, but, like...
I think it was more, I don't know if this is it necessarily, maybe psychology. I'm gonna use this as an excuse. Maybe it's because I'm disabled, so I couldn't do a lot of the things that kids could do, so I would just imagine. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Shannon says, Stina and her sandbox still playing for real. I'm literally looking at my table sandbox right now. It is right there.
Remember how sad you were when Dad destroyed our sandbox?
Yeah, we had a real sandbox in the front yard, and then he destroyed it. Which was probably good, because it was probably dirty with bugs, and I remember I ate the sand a lot.
Ew, really?
Yeah.
I remember we used to try to get, like, super dirty, because we always wanted to play in, like, the bathtub. And that was the only way to, like, force it.
We were Game of Thrones incest before Game of Thrones.
No, we were not.
We would take baths together. We, like, enjoyed it.
It's swimsuits.
But still.
Like, that's not...
We were in confined quarters together, okay?
That's not weird. This is normal for children.
Okay, I'm gonna expose...
You're only gross.
I'm gonna expose us, and you're probably gonna cringe.
No, don't you dare. No. Do not.
Please.
No.
It was my idea, though.
No! We're not talking about this.
I won't say what it is, but we used to do dares a lot. And we would always try to gross the other one out. So there were some questionable dares that would have not been allowed if there were parent supervision.
Oh god.
But we were old enough where we didn't need, like, parents in the room. Just, like, you know, outside, like, hearing, hey, you're not drowning each other.
We're not killing each other, yeah.
But I remember we used to, like, play with Barbies, and we would, like, jump and, like, splash them in the tub. But then we'd always have to yell, I'm okay, so no one thought we actually, like, spilled. Or not spilled, like, fell over in the tub. Because then our dad would, like, run in. So every time we made a loud splash, it was just, we're okay.
Oh, man. Remember when we used to try to splash the ceiling? And he came in one time and he was so mad.
He probably was.
And it wasn't even just because we were splashing the ceiling, but it was because of the fact that we didn't say anything after. We'd, like, splash really loud and then it would fall completely silent.
And then we probably didn't even admit to it. We're like, no, we didn't do that. I feel like kids always...
like syringes with water and like slam them on our legs to launch water up.
We had so much fun
all the time.
I don't think I ever like could. I like always sucked at it.
Yeah, I was always really good at it, but then again, I was always like the one to figure out how to do that kind of stuff.
I always remember too. We would have them together sometimes, but I also didn't have them alone, like bubble baths. And I would somehow think I could mimic the bubbles to make, like, a locker on the side of the tub that actually, like, worked.
What?
Yeah, I was really dumb.
I'm confused.
I'm really dumb. I would try to build things that would, like, actually work.
But
it's
why?
bubbles. Like, they stick together.
I remember we used to put, like, bubbles on our chins and pretend we were, like, Santa.
Yeah, we'd Santa. We would. What else did we do?
Oh, do you remember in elementary school when it was time to clean the desks? They would like cover it with like
shaving cream.
And
yes.
Like draw on it, but it would also clean them.
Thank you, B Elementary. That was the best time of my life.
I loved it, and I wish they would.
I hope they still do it. Like
probably
that.
Not. Unfortunately, they probably don't.
That was the bomb. I also remember in preschool, we had this, like, giant, like, box kind of thing that was, like, how do I explain it? It's like a table, but it's a box. Mm-hmm. It's the height of a table, and they'd have, like, stuff in it you can play with, and they had, like, shaving cream in it. Like, the whole thing filled.
Really?
And we'd always play with that. I didn't know it was shaving cream at the time, but, like, now thinking back, I'm like, yeah, that was shaving cream. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool. I also remember in preschool one time we like went sledding in the hallway. I don't know why, but we just like sat in a sled and then we'd get pulled. And I remember I put like my hand on the side of the sled and I cut my finger, but I thought I was gonna get in trouble, so I like hid it. I'm trying to hide this like blood on my finger, but thinking back on it, like I would not have gotten in trouble at all. Mm-hmm. Like, it was an accident. I was always so worried about getting in trouble as a kid.
That's kind of like me. So when I was in kindergarten, we would have nap time, and we were supposed to be dead silent. And so me and my friend would, like, always put our beds, like, next to each other, because they had these little mat bed things we'd all lay on. And so we were quiet. We didn't talk. We were allowed to read books during nap time, but that was it. So I was reading a book, and I was, like, resting my chin on my elbow or on my hand, and then I slipped and I knocked a loose tooth out, and I was so scared to say anything. My friend had to tell the teacher I lost a tooth.
See, I didn't really have much friends in elementary school. Like, I mean, I had some, but I remember for my nap time there's this girl in my class, she always smelled like honey, and whenever she would lay next to me I would just smell honey, and, like, I hated it.
Oh my God.
I don't know why she smelled like honey, but it wasn't like she stunk. Like, it wasn't a bad smell. But she smelled like honey, and she never, like, ate honey.
Probably perfume or something.
I don't know, but it was kindergarten. You wouldn't think.
Well, parents might put it on, or maybe, like, lip gloss. Like, that kid lip gloss always smelled like random things, like cotton candy, watermelon. Like,
I remember I would like plug my nose if she laid by me. Like, it's not a bad smell, and I'm not trying to call her out. Like,
you just don't like the smell of honey. Like,
I didn't like it repeatedly all the time. That person later came out to bully me. Yeah, it's fine. You smell like honey, Em. Okay? You smell like honey. But that was like elementary school. So like she's nice now, you know. Kids are just mean to each other. I'm sure I was mean to her.
Yeah. Obviously that friend from kindergarten, we're so not friends anymore anyway.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, I have lots of
I think you know who I'm talking about when I say M.
Oh, I totally do. Completely.
She was rude to me. She made me so sad. And I'm not saying her... She would say I would get everything I want because I was in a wheelchair, and she would always tell me how lucky I was. And as a kid, it just, like, it hurt, you know? But, like, kids don't understand that, you know? Like, I don't really have hard feelings over it. And she's, like... I mean, I don't know her that well, but she seems nice. We sat together in chemistry class in 11th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And we were nice, like, to each other. She probably doesn't even remember it, and I probably shouldn't remember it. Holding on to grudges, my trauma.
I remember a lot of the incidents of bullying that I've been through, but, like, they're just, like, facts to me now.
Right, like, I'm not, like, upset about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for little me, I feel bad for little me because I remember how much, like, that hurt, and it would make me so upset. But, you know.
Yeah. I was a fighter from, like, a young age, though. I would fight back.
I wouldn't. I would cry. And then middle school, I became a fighter.
I would cry, but I would fight. Like, if that makes any sense.
I think that's what turned me into, my friends call me roast god. Probably just, like, all that from when I was a kid, and then, like, why am I moving? Why am I moving? There's literally nothing around me.
That was mine, not you.
I wonder if, like, the controller's broken or something.
I don't know, but, like,
whatever
is happening is...
But my friends call me roast god, and I used to always just, like, cry when I would get insulted, or I would just be upset about it. And I didn't start, like, insulting till, like, middle school. And now I'm just roast god. I'm, like, unroastable. And, like, my skin is super thick. There's only a couple things that can actually trigger me, which I'm not going to say out loud because the internet's a cruel place.
Yeah, and there's some cruel people that you are besties with. I would totally go for it.
Who? Well, don't say it, but, like...
Well, like, me for sure.
Yeah, I remember there was one time, I mean, we worked past it, but I got called a vegetable, and that really hurt.
I never called you a vegetable.
Not you.
I was gonna say,
one of my
never
friends
called you a vegetable.
That hurt. I mean, we moved past it, and, like, they apologized and whatnot, but
I was about to say, like, I'm cruel, but I'm not that cruel.
I remember that was the first time I ever yelled in a party chat, and that loud.
Rip headphone user.
I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Don't you ever fucking call me that. I'll just, like...
That's how you can tell that our parents are here, because she's whispering.
I know, but I didn't even care. They were home, too. I just yelled it. I'm like, who the hell do you think you are? And I just, like, screamed at the top of my lungs, and, like, he was mad about something else, so... Yeah. But, I mean, we worked past it, and we're friends now, and, like, he's like, my bad. I shouldn't have said that. I kind of didn't mean it as you took it. Because I always call myself a cripple, so I think he kind of saw it as that. But I don't know, like, vegetable draws the line for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, we're friends now, and I love him, and, like, I'm into him. Because we were just joking back and forth at first.
Yeah, but that turns bad, like, real quick. Like, me and you will be doing that, and then you get real salty real fast.
That's how, like, they knew I wasn't messing around, is when I started yelling. That was the first time I ever yelled around all of them. Mm-hmm. And then, like, it took a minute to apologize, but we got there, you know. We got there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, shout out to that person, because I love them like a brother. You're pretty cool.
I mean, it was bound to happen when you think of them like siblings.
Yeah. It's definitely like a sibling relationship. Like my group of friends that I have right now. We were supposed to be talking about WWE this whole time.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad that you went on this huge tangent because it was very entertaining for me to not have to talk about the man.
And then, like, so about that, like, vegetable thing, then, like, a part of our group, like, fell off, and they're just, like, on my Twitter constantly calling me a vegetable. And the best insult was the person that initially called me a vegetable goes, "She might be a vegetable, but you're expired." I'm like, "Oh, get him!" Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, okay, like, you're just saying it to make me mad. Like, it doesn't really get to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It means more when the person, like, you're close with them. But if it's, like, just a random person, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you're cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that, like, I've kind of created this group of friends that are really nice.
Oh, my friends are nice. I'm not trying to say they aren't.
Joe, that was not me shading your friends. Okay, guys, this shows how sensitive Stina is. Her baby self is still in
I'm defending my friends. They're my ride or die.
Behind the rock layer that is, I don't feel anything, is still a sensitive Stina. Where she'll take what I say, twist it around so it's an insult, and then get mad at me.
No, my friends have gotten me through thick and thin, literally.
No, I'm just saying in general, like, because I didn't really have that group of friends until I got way older.
Yeah, same. I didn't get it till, like, senior year.
Like,
I mean, I have people, like, I'm friendly with, but I don't really feel, like, that close connection.
Yeah. Like, I had, like, a quote-unquote best friend for, like, my entire childhood, but, like, it was one person, and I don't even think we were that close.
The closest friend I ever had, well, not ever had, but in, like, elementary school, my one close friend moved away, and that was traumatizing for me.
I know it was. You still talk about it to this day.
I do. I feel like we would have been super close, like, all throughout everything.
I never felt like... I never was able to get that close relationship until
I don't know how we did, like, what I bonded with her, because we were actually pretty, like, different. Like, well, no, maybe we weren't different. I was gonna say she grew up, like, in a religious family and was, like, sheltered, but I was sheltered too, so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Shout out to UE. You're not gonna watch this, but I love you. I see you comment on Instagram on Leah Michelle's things, and I agree.
I think I would have had in middle school. There was this girl, and we were, like, really close. And I think if she hadn't switched schools, we might have stayed close, like, all the way up through high school. But the thing was, once she moved away, like, the connection just was lost. Because we connected really well over, like, it's gonna sound really awkward and weird, but, like, we would do assignments and things like that, and we would, like, bond over learning.
Loser.
Like,
loser.
We would, and, like, she was the first person I really talked to about the fact that I wanted to be a writer, and she agreed, like, she wanted to be a writer too, and it was kind of interesting just to talk to her. And she was, like, the brainiac of our group.
I think I remember, I know who you're talking about. I remember you said that she was a smart one, and, like, in my head I had this, like, she's a nerd, I'm not going to be able to relate to her because I'm quite the opposite of a brainiac, but she was actually pretty cool when I met her.
Yeah, she was really
I'm
nice.
like, I could actually...
Yeah, like, she was a year younger than me, but we were in the same grade because of how smart she was.
Yeah.
And she kind of, like, we would help each other out. So, like, in science class, she'd be like, if I didn't understand, she would kind of explain it to me, and I was like, oh, yeah. But I miss her. Like, we're still friends and stuff, like, sort of, like, you get what I mean when I'm like, Facebook friends.
Like, you're friendly with each other, but it's not like you're like, yeah, let's go out.
Yeah, we're like Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And I, like, miss her, but...
Right.
With our lives, we were going in two different directions. She was going, like, the brainiac track, and I was going the, like, I care deeply about people, but I'm not very academic.
Which is surprising, because you're, like, super smart. Like a
Except
brainiac.
when it comes to, I almost want biology.
Your character's moving again.
I know, I don't get why.
I don't get it.
But, yeah, I almost flunked biology. I failed the midterm, and then I got a D on the final. But luckily
D is passing.
and luckily there was a lot of papers involved in that class, so I got like a B overall in the class. I was like, score. I'm a good writer.
A B is like a good grade for me. That's probably like a bad grade for you.
Oh, it was my second lowest grade I've ever gotten.
My comment.
My first lowest grade was my third level of Spanish that I took. Oh, I was not good at Spanish.
I wasn't bad at Spanish.
I was bad at Spanish, but only because up until that point we'd been handheld so much, and then suddenly we had a professor who was just like speaking fluent Spanish at us, and I was like, oh god, what did I walk into?
Help.
I don't even know where one part of the word started and the next one started. Like, what is happening? I don't get it.
I had the best science teacher, or not science, Spanish teacher. She was really cool. There's like, I was in her class, I took Spanish 1 and I was pretty good at it. And, okay, I was good at it. I'm gonna go as far to say I was good at it. And then there were like some stuff that was like going on in my personal life, so I was like, my mind just wasn't in the game kind of thing. And it was like 2 weeks before like the end of the course. Stop laughing, I'm aware your character is moving. And it was like 2 weeks before the end of like the class being over. So she's like, you know what, just take the test. And I know how hard you worked, so just don't worry about the grade. So she like passed me in a way. And then I had her for the next thing. And I understood Spanish, so you had to change the end of the words.
Oh, that part.
That was the part where like I had like personal stuff, so like I missed a lot of it. So that was pretty hard.
I still kind of struggle with that a little bit, especially because so like I was fine the very first with like present tense changing the ending, but when it started getting like past tense and future tense,
I understood like
I was confused.
Masculine and feminine changing, but when it was like we, they, her, she, him, I'm like, no me gusta. You know, like.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I remembered up until we took it out of present tense, because like at that point a lot of the endings were the same as like present tense, but it meant past tense in the context, and I was like, okay.
I remember her first impression of me was she didn't say this, but I'm sure it was, this person is so extra, because I thought I was super good at Spanish, and we'd count from like 1 to like 100 every day. And it was the first day, and I was trying to show off that I knew my stuff. And then, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I said de-ice.
Oh god.
I was like, de-ice? And she's like, you know you don't have to fake an accent. I was like, yeah.
I remember when I had to learn how to count in Spanish, I kept switching between that and French, because I took French in high school.
Oh, that sucks.
And a couple of the phrasings overlapped. Because French is like a mix of Spanish, Italian, and I forget, there was one other language it kind of mixes in, but probably German. But I just like, it kept switching on me.
Sandrin agrees. I mean, he knows like 500 languages, so.
Like, even, okay, so when you say sleep, it's the same word in both languages.
I don't even know sleep in Spanish. I was trying to think.
I think it's dormir. I think. I don't really remember Spanish. Like, I literally took it when I was like a freshman.
I remember my Spanish teacher, whenever I like had to email her that I was gonna be gone or something, it was always like it had to be in Spanish.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's a little.
I mean, it was easy enough, just like Google Translate, but.
Google Translate sucks. It's so bad.
But it was good enough. It got the point across.
Like, Oh man, so many of my classmates use that.
Buenas tardes.
It's like, you can't do that. You can use Google Translate like a dictionary. So you can put one word in and it'll spit all the words out, but you have to be able to logically look at all the words and figure out which one fits and how to change it so it fits.
There's also this time I did this. This is when I had her as my Spanish teacher. There's a streamer I watched, Looples, twitch.tv/Looples, and she had this commercial thing where, like, when she went off stream, she'd have, like, a commercial that would play, and she had a contest of who could come up with the best commercial. So I did a commercial, and it's, like, very, not, like, school appropriate, and, like, kind of sexual in some parts, just because that's, like, her stream. She does, like, dirty jokes, so I had some of that in the commercial, and I accidentally emailed it to my Spanish teacher because her name started with an L. And I sent her this, like, sexual video. And I remember being so mortified. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Please don't play that. That was for something else. I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay. I hope you win. That's, like, what she said. I can play the video for you guys if you really want.
Don't.
Why?
So cringy.
It's really cringy. That's why it's funny. And it was like, I was mortified. I sent it to my Spanish teacher.
Wasn't it my idea, part of it?
Part of it, I think. I know you filmed it. I'm pulling this video up.
I swear it was my idea to use, like, the Mario thing.
I put it on private on my YouTube channel because I'm so embarrassed by it now. But I still have it on there, so I'll pull it up. I feel like I'm gonna regret this after I pull it out.
That's kind of me with, like, all the videos we put up as children. I went through and deleted them because I was that embarrassed.
I was a YouTuber in 8th grade and I deleted all my videos, and I kind of wish I didn't because I would love to go back and watch.
Yeah, okay. I don't like going back to watch, though.
This is, let's see.
Oh. Hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to 1-800-Looples, sponsored by me, stinabear00.
The cringe.
Today,
I'm trying to be as cringy as possible. I remember that.
watch a 1-800-Looples stream.
I was reading the book upside down too. Not many people notice that.
Put your hair up in a bun, or as we call it here at 1-800-Looples, a hair from the back, behind, up thing. Now that you have your hair in a bun.
My bun almost fell out when I did that too.
Now you tie that knot, bitch.
I sent this to a Spanish teacher.
And then you grab your nearest pussy. I don't have any pussy. I just have my 2 bitches. Ow, he bit me!
He actually bit me. I remember that.
On to step number 3. Loople's favorite part. You grab your alcoholic beverage.
Nail polish remover. Since you guys can't see the video.
And since you're thirsty, you drink that bitch right now.
I don't even take the cap off.
And then you grab your very own Mario.
I literally printed off a Mario from, like, Super Mario Bros. And then I make out with him.
You're so cute. Your blue eyes, the little mustache, that nose. Oh yes, that nose.
Ah!
Give me a paper cut. It's okay, babe, love hurts.
I sent this to a Spanish teacher! I hope she didn't watch it once she realized.
And then,
Probably did.
for our last final step, you go to twitch.tv/Looples. And then you watch that bitch. Or at least you pretend to, because she ain't even funny. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in this commercial. I'm done. I quit.
Yep, I sent that to a Spanish teacher, boys. I won!
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Are you glad you won, though? Because that lives forever on her stream.
I don't think she uses it so much anymore because she's had so many other contests, so luckily it's kind of like died out. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious in that, but like it's just a whole bunch of cringe. But that was kind of the point. I wanted to make it super cheesy, but I kind of wish I did it better.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I sent that to a Spanish teacher. Yeah, she probably could have like reported me for that with what was in the
It
video.
wasn't meant to be to her though.
Yeah, and I literally apologized immediately once I realized. I'm like, Miss blah blah blah, please don't open that. I'm so sorry. That was not meant for you. I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I did that. But their names are so similar, so it makes sense why I did that, but still, yeah, definitely should have been more careful with that.
Yeah.
Um,
But that can't be nearly as bad as I was texting my boss and I was typing hello and it changed to hella. And I sent it that way. I was like, oh god.
Hella. I hope she's like, how are you? And then you said, hella.
Nobody even responded.
Were you in a group chat?
No.
Oh. I would have been like, hello, comma, I'm sorry, I'm professional, I promise.
Yeah, she did not respond to it.
She probably understood. She probably honestly read it hello.
Yeah. I think I even, like, did the asterisk, like, fixing the typo thing right after that. So it was probably obvious.
It's funny. In middle school, I emailed my teacher my math assignment. Not my math assignment. That one's not that bad, though. I remember I was high because I had surgery, and I was, like, high on a whole bunch of pain meds. It was, like, a pretty big surgery, and I did a lot of, like, online work, but I was so, like, afraid of the internet that I had a fake name, Nikki. So I was emailing my teacher in real life an assignment, and rather than signing it Stina, I signed it Nikki, because I was so high that I'm, like, I emailed back, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know who Nikki is. Yeah, that was good times.
Mm-hmm. That's so funny, though.
That's where you say excuse me?
Why would I say excuse me when you're just gonna do it again in 5 minutes?
True. I literally tasted a little bit of vomit when I did that.
Ew. We totally need to know that.
You're welcome. I almost threw up on podcast. I remember.
Wouldn't be the first time.
This is a TMI. There was one time I was in a party chat and I was like sick.
Oh god, and you.
I don't know why I was in the party chat. I probably just wanted to hang. I get nauseous a lot just because of medicine I'm on, so I kind of just hung out in the party anyway. And I thought I muted my mic when I went to go throw up, but I didn't, so they all heard, like... Except they couldn't really tell what it was. They're just like, what's going on? Like, they didn't know what was going on. They just thought I burped, because fun fact, I always burp when I throw up.
It says,
What?
I'm staring at your bookshelf, and you have, like, the 39 Clues books still. How many books in did you get?
I think I got to, like, 6. But they weren't really that...
All the way up to 11?
Well, I had plans to read all of them. I got to the yellow book. Whatever the yellow book was.
4?
No, it had to be later than that. But I remember, I, like, didn't even like the series after the first book, but, like, everyone was so into it, I was, like, committed to read it. I remember when, you know how I was talking about, like, my personal world where I was obsessed with, like, Jeff Hardy and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Carly Hardy, the person that I made up, she was an actor, and she played Nina in 39 Clues in a movie that didn't exist.
Oh my god.
I told you. I had a whole plot with her.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the 39 Clues books were like your generation's warrior books that my generation read.
I mean, it's like a cool concept, but it wasn't my type of book after the first one. I liked the first one, but like the author changes, so like the style kind of changes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got partway through book 2 and then I got bored.
Yeah, the first book was good, at least when I was a kid. I haven't read it since. I don't even really remember what it's about. I think these people like lose their parents. There's 39 clues for something and they inherit it. And their babysitter Nina, like, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Yeah. But I was never really into that kind of thing.
Everyone was reading it, so I like tried. And I did pretend like I liked it. I remember.
What grade were you in when everyone was reading that?
4th grade?
Hmm.
4th or 5th grade. I remember my friend lent me the book, the first one, and in the thing it just had like his name in big letters. This is mine. Okay, I know it's yours. I purposely don't say their names, even though I probably could, because, like, it's such a common name, and they won't watch this, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like I need to respect their privacy. So I always do, like, the first letter of their name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, my generation read all these books called the Warrior books, and it was basically, like, a bunch of cats that lived in the wild, and, like, it was almost like...
She role-played before roleplay was cool.
Oh god, I totally did. We used to have these chat rooms where we'd pretend to be different cats.
Which I'm
like,
sure there were a ton of pedophiles on.
There weren't, though. It was weird.
How do you know?
Because none of them asked
Because
anything.
an 8-year-old sent me his private part.
No, literally none of them sent any of that. It was literally just, I'm this cat. And that was
Still, that's like a pedophile thing. It's like a fetish.
But it wasn't ever, like, made creepy.
I know, but like some people get off to that. Like that's why pedophiles are so creepy.
I guess, but like,
But
yeah, we used to read those books, and it was like there were 4 different clans in this book.
you want to know the best clan? All Kings. And you can go to fadegrips.store and use discount code AllKings8 to get 8%
I don't
off.
even remember what they were all
Continue.
called. I remember like some of the main cats, like what their names were, like.
No one cares.
Well, I just wish I knew the clan names.
I remember, like, you would, like, roleplay with your friends, and I wanted to be in on it, but, like, I couldn't get my head around being a cat.
Well,
Like, why do I want to be a cat?
Though. I saw it as the storyline. I didn't really see the cat part of it.
Well, I was like, I couldn't get past the cat part. I'm like, this is dumb.
And, like, they literally, okay, so it was whatever their name was, and then if they were kitten, the last part was kit. If they were an apprentice, their last name was paw.
So I would be
And-
Stina Kit.
And then when they're an adult, they get, like, whatever sort of second part of their name that kind of means what they are. So, like, there was a character that was Fire Kit, then went to Fire Paw, then went to Fire Heart because he had a lot of heart.
Oh, that's why you named your fish Fireheart?
Yes, actually.
Oh, God.
And then the leader, their last name is Star. So, as the progression goes, like, say Fireheart raised up into leadership, he would then be called Firestar.
Was he?
I mean...
Did he ever get to Firestar? I'm curious now.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
I feel bad if anyone's gonna read the books, but I highly doubt any of you
No one's gonna read a book about cats.
But
No offense to whoever wrote the book. I'm sure you made a lot of childhoods, but like as adults,
I don't even think the same person wrote them all. I think they all wrote it behind a screen name or like a pen name or whatever, but I don't think they were all written by the same person.
but regardless, adults aren't gonna actually probably read your book about cats. I'm sorry.
You're right. But,
I feel like we have to talk about wrestling a lot because that's what we promised we were gonna do.
but we did.
We didn't really talk about it a
We
lot.
talked about it for like half an hour before we all
No, we
diverted.
didn't. We talked about it for like 10 minutes.
Well, we can always make it the next podcast.
We have 5 minutes. What do we want to talk about for wrestling?
Undertaker's amazing.
Shawn Michaels should have beat the streak. I said that last podcast that we talked about this. He should have.
Yeah, Undertaker's cool. I wish.
He's actually nice in real life. Randy Orton is also nice in real life, even though he plays a sadistic.
But he doesn't anymore.
Yes, he does.
At least he didn't last time I saw him.
No, he plays. Edge came back. Spoiler alert. He re-injured, I'm saying in quotes, you can't see me, Edge, when Edge was trying to be his friend. And then he spun it to say that he did it to protect him so he could go home and be a dad
Okay.
and not get hurt in the ring, even though he literally hurt him in the ring. Me. But Randy Orton's actually probably the nicest person ever in real life.
I really wish I could work for WWE to write some of these storylines, because like, I have so many ideas for like all these different stars.
There's also Becky Lynch. I know you guys are gonna roll your eyes because I'm talking about the man again, but there was like a 4-way match. I don't know who was in it. It was Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and then 2 others. And the kind of like thing is with wrestling, if you get hurt, you like end the match or find a way to like wrap it up. So if it's 4 people, it would have been easy enough to wrap up so that one person like didn't actually get more hurt. But she ended up getting hurt and like got a concussion. And you could kind of tell just by like how she was walking, like her head, like she wasn't there kind of thing. But Charlotte Flair didn't really notice, or she didn't care. She's been called out for this before, but she like kept going, like hitting her, throwing her, slamming her into tables.
Well, I just think it's the way Charlotte might have been brought up, because like she was trained by her father, and back in her father's generation, that was very normal. You just pushed through it.
Yeah, she probably's like, well, she'll be fine after.
Yeah.
Where everyone's like, stop, like she's hurt. I just assumed she was so into the moment that she didn't really care.
She probably didn't even realize, honestly.
Yeah.
That in the moment, you don't see it. You're
Right.
Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to punch her. I'm supposed to kick her. I'm supposed to...
So there's a part where she's supposed to hit her with a chair, like I think across the head, but Becky like gets in front of her because Becky like knows that she's injured. Even though Becky's supposed to play the man where she like doesn't give a crap about anyone, she's like trying to protect this person but also like keep up her character. And she was talking about it. She's like, yeah, because I was a flight attendant before I was a wrestler, and my full like flight attendant like protect her at all costs. And there's a part where they don't show it on TV, but like someone from the audience filmed it, and it was her rolling the injured person under the ring so she like didn't get hurt anymore. I thought that was pretty cool and smart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anything to say about that?
I'm very bored of the man. Like, you idolize the man so much, and
Listen!
so annoying. Like, literally, you've been talking about the man to me for 2 hours.
I have. And then, also, I was watching Hornswoggle, and Hornswoggle's the best, dude.
I loved Hornswoggle.
I love when he was trying to be in DX, and, like, John Cena, and that...
Little People's Court. Yeah,
I know that
used to be a thing.
That wouldn't pass now, probably. It wouldn't be allowed on TV, but it was really funny.
But, like, Little People's Court.
It was so fun. I love just, like, Shawn Michaels and, like, DX, like, and Hornswoggle.
The end of that story arc just warmed my heart.
Can we keep him? Can we keep him?
Yeah, please, I promise I'll walk him and I'll feed him. Like, that's a little offensive now, but back then it was really funny.
And, like, I mean, Hornswoggle probably agreed to it.
Well, obviously he did.
So he was okay with it.
Have you heard Hornswoggle, like, out of character? Because I was watching a video where Hornswoggle's like...
Yeah, he was
doing douche or...
I was watching that video too! Yeah. That was the one I was gonna bring up to you! He was talking about, like, who actually is rude in real life and who's actually cool.
Yeah, oh, it was dick or superstar or something.
Yeah.
He called it.
But a lot of time he's like, he's a dick, but, like, he deserves it. That's what he kept saying. He never really, like, insulted anyone where he's like, yeah, he's just an asshole.
Yeah, he's literally like, he's a dick, but he earned it, or he's a dick, but he'll admit to it.
Yeah. He's cool.
He did, I think he also did Ho or No.
Probably. I do like how he kissed, like, every female wrestler back in the day.
Oh god, yeah. But he literally said no to everybody for the Ho or No thing, except
he's a respectable man.
There was one person he said is.
Yeah, he's a respectable man.
I said that too fast, oops.
He respects women.
Oh
yeah. So I guess that leads us into a good conclusion. We're gonna be making a TikTok soon under my name, if stinabear is not taken, and we're going to be reenacting like funny TV show stuff like that. Like one of our first ones is gonna be that Shawn Michaels and Triple H like DX thing. So look out for that. I haven't made the TikTok yet. I suck. And this idea came up like 2 weeks ago.
The podcast wouldn't even have a Twitter if it weren't for me.
This is true. But so look out for that TikTok. I'll probably tweet it. Do you have any, like, final thoughts you want to add?
Don't try this at home, kids.
At wrestling, always would say that, don't try this at home. And then, like, all the wrestlers, like, now talk about, yeah, I grew up watching wrestling and I remember trying it. Like, you guys did not listen.
Right?
I feel like if I was able, I totally would be a wrestler. I would, like, own that.
Even when we went over to A's house, like, they did, like, a little mock thing for us.
Yeah, wrestling in the pool. Her and her husband.
It was in, like, their...
Oh, yeah, because didn't she actually get hurt?
She didn't get, like, actually hurt. She just was mad about it or something.
Yeah, she's like, why would you do that? Kind of thing.
It's because, like, he tombstoned her.
When your husband tombstones you.
Oh, God.
Why are you in couples counseling?
He thought it'd be a great idea to tombstone me. And the counselor's like,
What? What are you talking about? But cause you didn't get into it because of her, but she found out that you liked it, right?
Yeah.
So then you guys kind of bonded over that. I remember she's like, yeah, if they ever come here, I'll take you to a wrestling thing. And I remember being so mad that, like, I wasn't invited, but then she kind of, like, explained it to me, because I was a sensitive kid, that a lot of times they pick on audience members, and I probably would take it too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, but I still was also upset. I'm like, I'm not sensitive.
No, and she never took me.
Well, yeah.
But, like, it was just a thing she said, I think.
And, like, she probably would have if you, like, pushed it.
Mm-hmm.
But she probably didn't really think about it. She probably forgot about it.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think she probably just meant, like, since she was basically, like, our babysitter, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably more so, like, oh, your parents can buy us tickets and we can go.
Yeah. And
like, that would be me as a babysitter. Like, I want to go to this thing, so I'll take you.
You like try to convince the parents, like, you really want to go to this concert. You're like, hey, you like Britney Spears, right? You're like, Britney Spears. We could go to that concert. You gotta ask your parents. Tell your parents you like Britney Spears. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Jeff Hardy, you better come back soon, and I really hope you're watching this.
Because she wants to meet you, and if
Please.
you are single ever, get him.
That'd be a little bit weird since I'm 19 and he's in his 40s, but you know what?
It works for Sarah Paulson and...
If you ever want someone to play your crippled daughter on TV, hit me up. Or Matt, if you're watching, you have Woken Matt, he's in a wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair, let's make something work. Can someone please have the Hardy Boys see this? Please. It doesn't even have to be WWE, I'll go wherever. I don't have any motivation in life.
They can hide in our basement.
I'll hide in their
I
basement.
promise I won't lock them in.
I'll hide in your basement. I'll go wherever, okay? And not in a weird way.
Oh, God.
Like, I know your daughters are like, well, and Jeff specifically, like, your daughters are, like, not really close to my age, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna become their best friend, okay? I will watch whatever they watch on TV. I will judge them on the trampoline. I will be a good, fake older sister. Even if I'm crippled and I wouldn't be able to help them in any way, like if they're getting bullied. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I can't protect you. I can run someone over, maybe. Please, please, let me play someone where I get to be in the ring with you. Please, I don't care. I'll play, I don't know. Who will I'll play.
You could be like Vicky Guerrero.
I'm trying to think. I couldn't be their kid because I like feel like I don't look anything like them.
You would if you dyed your hair again.
I do. I did dye my hair a lot, Jeff. I'm pretty sure you got me into that.
Probably.
Because as a kid, you always would have dyed hair, and I would watch that, and I thought that was so cool. And I was so dumb, I thought it was like your natural hair color. I was dumb. And then in high school, I dyed my hair a lot. Yeah. That's what I'll be.
Your aqua hair.
I'll be the person that sold you your manic panic. Okay. I rambled on. Jeff, you can email me, stinabear00 at gmail.com, and we can work something out. You too, Matt. Yeah, same email. And then if you email me, I'll give you my agent's people, which is my sister. She's my agent.
Oh,
So.
God. 'Cause I mean, I guess I would be pretty good at reading contracts and like picking them apart.
I'm not opposed. And I also look really young, so I could play an 8-year-old.
If you make billions of dollars, will you publish my book, fam? And then
Hold on, I'm trying to sell this dream.
then you can
Okay.
hire your agent to
I can do a really good little kid voice, and I can act like a little kid to a T. Isn't that right?
I mean, yeah.
I really can.
I mean, your maturity level's like already there, so it's not that much acting.
I don't like you.
I know you don't.
You were really mean to me. Hurt my feelings.
Didn't you used to say hi and I liked it?
Hi! I don't think I can do it
You
anymore.
can't do it anymore!
Hi!
You
What did I
can't-
do?
No, you can't even do it.
What did I used to do?
I'm so sad.
I think I would make my voice. I would make my voice crack when I did it. Hi!
It still doesn't work. It's not working.
I haven't done it in so long. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, and then you refused to do it for me, and then I got upset and cried.
I would talk
And I
like
sat there with Hannah Montana on because you refused to do it.
I would talk like a sophisticated but a kid. So I'd be like, "It's been a pleasure doing business with you."
Yeah, it's kind of like that a little bit.
Like that's what I would do. In that voice exactly. I remember. It was the first time I actually did a good RP with Pablo and them. Was the time I played a kid.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
really good at playing a kid. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I'm not really that mature, but I also can play the man. If the man's looking for a daughter, hello, I'm right here. Someone, can I be someone's daughter?
Oh god.
Please.
And you have this thing with being people's kids.
Well, I can't be like anything else. I'm like 19 and they're like in their 30s.
You could be an announcer.
Jeff Hardy. All Kings 8 for 8% off your next order at fadegrips.store. Okay, bye.